Hello and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Trivia section. That's right, it has a name now. Today we're diving, pun intended, into a watery, treasure-filled movie called Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. Released in 2003 and directed by Gore Verbinski, the film spawned a multi-billion-dollar franchise now spanning 5 movies, with a 6th on the way. Starring Johnny Depp, Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom, The Curse of the Black Pearl capitalised on Bloom's popularity from the Lord of the Rings series and took a chance on Johnny Depp, who, even after 20 years of roles, still wasn't counted on as a bankable star at the time. Of course, he proved Hollywood wrong with his stunning portrayal of Captain Jack Sparrow, a role which seemingly was offered to every actor on the planet, though we'll get to that later. Keira Knightley, meanwhile, was only 17 and starring in her first blockbuster since Star Wars Episode 1, which didn't even spell her name right in the credits. The original trilogy of Pirates remains one of my favourite series of movies, though 4 and 5 definitely fell short of the quality we got used to from 2003 to 2007. And much like my last video, this will contain spoilers for the film, though if you haven't seen this one already, you've had 18 years to do it, so what are you playing at really? Let's get to it. Trivia number 1, according to DVD commentaries, Geoffrey Rush has a theory that people watch the screen from left to right just like they read a book. Therefore, he tried to be on the left side of the screen as often as possible in the movie. He was particularly intent on doing this in scenes with the monkey and Keira Knightley, because he thought that no one would look at him otherwise. Now, completely understandable, there's good logic to this, because I've realised now that when I watch movies, I do that exact thing, and I look to the left side of the screen. So, completely logical explanation, though I don't think that an acting legend like Mr. Rush needs to really worry about being out-acted by a monkey. Although, that was a really talented monkey. Next up, the tale of Keira Knightley's nerves. The actress claimed she was so sure she was going to be fired from this movie that she only packed a few things with her to go and film. Now, most of the time these facts are usually pretty funny, but I find this one kind of sad to be honest. Knightley was heavily affected by the negative attention she received from critics of her previous films, with a lot of them stating that she couldn't act, or that she was too pouty or too thin to be a star. However, she crushed her role in Pirates of the Caribbean and went on to appear in the sequels Dead Man's Chest and At World's End. She also made a brief appearance in the 5th installment, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Now, since her time in the franchise, she's had little trouble finding new jobs, and is still a heavy hitter in romance and drama films. She had the title role in Ara Karenina, and she also appeared in a lovely little film called Laggies, or Say When, or Grow Up, or Girls Only, depending on what country you're in. And that gets a little bit confusing sometimes. When returning from a shoot in the Caribbean, Keira Knightley's boat struck a reef and promptly sank. The boat held Knightley, her mother Sharma MacDonald, and the boat's captain, who thankfully were all uninjured and rescued within hours. However, the incident ultimately determined that the rest of the island night shoots would be in studio rather than on location. The dangers of practical effects and real-life locations. Sadly, a lot of films are getting a lot less real and a lot more CGI in recent decades. However, Pirates was well funded enough for no one to notice that the actors were on a set in a studio rather than on a real treasure island. Either way, I can't imagine going to the other side of the world to film a movie and ending up in a website article of "You'll never guess what happened to this actor," which will of course consist of 40 slides spread across 40 different web pages. I don't have time for this. So in the scripts I write for these, shocker, I know, these paragraphs all have a little title that just help me keep track of where I am. And I just need everyone to know that the title for this one was Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. And to explain that, originally Johnny Depp wanted Captain Jack Sparrow to have lost his nose, though had it stitched back on, and be afraid of things like pepper and the common cold. Disney rejected the idea. First of all, how dare you? That would have been fantastic. It would have been extremely on-brand for Johnny Depp, to be honest. Second of all, what made him come up with that idea? A famous pirate, feared across the seas, but God forbid you come up to him with a pepper shaker. Can I interest you in some seasoning, sir? No, absolutely not. Now, I feel like the pepper was the comedic part, but the common cold surely might have been a problem back then. It's not like the local bar in Havana stocked up on Calpol and paracetamol, is it? It could have been a real problem. Although I would have really liked to see Johnny Depp with a weird, bizarre, stitched-on nose. It kind of makes me think of all the alternate versions of movies we've never seen. Except the version of Iron Man where Tom Cruise played Tony Stark. Nobody wants to see that. Michael Keaton, Jim Carrey and Christopher Walken were all considered for the role of Captain Jack Sparrow. Robert De Niro was also offered the part, however he declined, thinking it wouldn't be as successful as other various pirate movies of the past. I mean, what does Robert De Niro know anyway? Now, Carey, Keaton and Walken all definitely have the chops to play a flamboyant pirate, but I don't think any of them could have captured the role as well as Johnny Depp did. Personally, my brain can't process any of those 4 actors as Jack Sparrow. I mean, I can picture them with a crap pirate hat on, but the character, God no. This just feeds back to the alternate universe thing with Tom Stark, or Tony Crews. And someone needs to call Doctor Strange to fix that right now. Now, slightly on topic, with the way Disney are running the world right now, kind of surprises me that we haven't seen any of these actors apart from Michael Keaton appear in the MCU so far. Although with the internet being the internet, they are of course heavily rumoured and people are discussing them all the time, saying that they're going to appear in the future. I mean, here's hoping, really. Early in the film, Orlando Bloom kept trying to play his character cooler than he actually is. He says that he wanted the character to be more like Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow, obviously the definition of cool, but Gore Verbinski had to keep reiterating to him how uncool Will Turner is. "You're still a dork," Verbinski would say to him. Now, I dipped into directing methods a little bit in the video about Knives Out, with directors threatening, delaying, cracking the whip, etc. However, I've never really seen one following an actor around just calling them a dork, much like Homer Simpson's famous line at university. Nerd! Really, the joke was on Verbinski in the end, with Orlando Bloom becoming one of the world's most beloved male actors, plastered on the wall of every teenager, and hitting the top of every list of world's sexiest men. Clearly the pinnacle of human achievement. Am I jealous? Nah. Maybe. Industrial light and magic designers use turkey jerky to create the effect of decomposing skin when the pirates turn into their skeletal forms. That's just fun to say really, turkey jerky. Oddly enough, food being used as a replacement for gore is not a new thing in the film industry, and that actually reminds me of a horrible story, which weirdly is one of my favourite pieces of trivia on this subject. Day of the Dead, Part 2 of George A. Romero's iconic zombie trilogy suffered a lot of setbacks during filming. Rewrites, a humidity problem that near broke cameras and electrical equipment. However, I'm thinking of the meat problem. Refrigerators that were storing fresh meat to act as entrails and flesh during the movie broke down eventually, causing the stench of rotten meat to be present for the entire shoot. Now, unfortunately for the poor actors playing zombies and victims, that meant being around it and being covered in it for days at a time. Now, as far as I know, Pirates of the Caribbean didn't suffer from the same problem. And hell, the actors may have even eaten that jerky after they called cut. The ship used as the HMS Interceptor in the film is actually a real ship, the Lady Washington. She's the official tall ship ambassador of the state of Washington and has a list of credits longer than some actors. As well as appearing in the film, she can also be seen in Star Trek Generations, and was used as a reference for the RLS Legacy in the animated film Treasure Planet. She has also appeared in the TV series Once Upon a Time as the Jolly Roger. And so Lady Washington may even top the list as the most credited vehicle, if that list exists. Who needs to spend millions on actors anyway when you can have a charismatic leading lady who won't demand a better contract? And bonus points if you can use it to get to the set in the morning. No traffic. So there we are, another 8 movie facts in the bag. I always love to talk about the Pirates films, though I tend to duck out of the discussion once we pass the trilogy if I'm honest. The swashbuckling Jack Sparrow is truly irreplaceable in the series and remains one of the most perfectly cast characters in movie history. I rewatch these films pretty often, and the sense of scale never gets old. The supporting cast are almost flawless in their roles, each with their own overarching story, save for the comic relief of the Black Pearl's Below Decks crew. The Black Pearl, it is a high point of the series, so I'm going to give it 9 talking parrots out of 10 messages in bottles. And if you still haven't seen it, what are you doing? Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one and more gaming alongside them. I'll catch you in the next one.